this is a bumper for the video. Look at all these comics I'm giving away for free. Whoa. Yeah, anyway, I'm giving away the digital codes for these comics, for this pile of comics here. At the next few videos. So if you want to enter that contest, all you have to do is be a subscriber and like the videos that I give away the books in, and you know, comment, send me an email. My work email is in the about page on my YouTube channel. So either you can send me an email, which would be the preferred method, or you can just leave a comment, and you know, I'll find some way. We'll get in contact and I'll send the codes to you. But yeah, we're giving away Spectacular Spider-Man number 1, Spectacular Spider-Man number 2, Spectacular Spider-Man number 3. None of which are great books. But listen, they're free and they're comic books and you can read them. And who knows, maybe you'll like Chip Zdarsky's jokes. Anyway, this is a good book. This is Defenders number 1. I'm giving this away. Next, another good book. I'm giving away The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 1. The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 2. I'm also giving away Power Man and Iron Fist Sweet Christmas, which is the annual for that series, annual number 1. And you know, it's a Christmas special, so how can you go wrong with that? So anyway, yeah, all these books can be yours by simply just, you know, leaving a comment and whatnot. Anyway, by the way, I'm pretty sure all these codes are good for up to a year. But if they're not, and it's only 6 months or whatever, just let me know, and I'll send you some different codes, some working codes. So yeah. Defenders, how can you go wrong with that? The beloved Daredevil and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. Anyway, here comes the video. Originally, I had this video scripted, but it seemed really unnatural and weird. So, as a wise man once said, screw it, we'll do it live. So the cover for this is really interesting in the way that it's kind of like a slap in the face to the old Luke Cage stuff, in a very subtle way, I guess. Anyway, this book was released in April of 1992. Anyway, yeah, this yellow fabric that he's tearing off his body to reveal his new extreme 90s leather jacket is seemingly that of his old costume from the 70s and 80s. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. The cover's not very dynamic. It's just sort of bland, and he's standing in a very normal position, I guess. It's just his leg is out further than would normally be. That does not make for a dynamic cover. The ad for Terminator Judgment Day on the NES and Game Boy by LJN, who's almost never produced a good game. This is actually a really cool page. I like the artwork here a lot. By the way, the book is written by Mark McLuhan, drawn by Dwayne Turner, and the inks are done by Chris Chris Ivy. I find the inks in this book to be extremely average, except for in this page and where the pages have explosions on them. But yeah, I really love this page. Anyway, we're given a little bit of insight into Luke Cage's backstory by this news lady, Anna, who's trying to start up a new news organization, or restart an old news organization, and she wants to go national with it. But in order to do that, they need their own Spider-Man to compete with papers like the Daily Bugle. So what they need is Luke Cage. We're introduced to our news crew. The head. Oh no, I guess she's Anna, not her. So she's never given a name in this book. Fantastic. Anyway, the head editor, Anna, Jaren Hogarth, who we will know from the Netflix series as being that female lawyer who helps out Jessica Jones in Iron Fist and stuff. But yeah, that's the comic version of that character. We're given a look at this, or we're introduced to this this news photographer, Mickey Hampton, or Hamilton. Anyway, so we go to downtown Chicago, where Luke Cage has set up his new Heroes for Hire organization, and he's fighting a bunch of these thugs. And he tells them they can do it the smart way or the hard way, to which one of them responds with a gunshot to the chest of Luke Cage, which is an interesting device for establishing to new readers that he is indeed bulletproof, in that bullets don't affect him. But we already got that in the opening monologue. But anyways, as he's fighting these guys, he's overpowered by a chain that wraps around him and tases the crap out of him. He breaks the chain, obviously, because he's Luke Cage. And then the van comes and tries to run him over, and the thugs try to escape in the van. Luke Cage isn't having any of that, obviously. He tears the doors off, but unfortunately he's intercepted by a new villain called Hardcore. And initially I thought they were just saying Hardcore, and I didn't initially realize that was his literal name. I thought maybe it was Diamondback, because his armor looks like jewels, and he's wearing a lot of purple. Anyway, so they get into a fight that Luke Cage loses. And yeah, they escape, but he does manage to take down a few of the thugs and submit them to the authorities. The media catches up with them, and they thank him for his duties, and he objects to their thanks, because that's what he was just being paid to do. It was nothing special. But Jaren Hogarth catches up with him and offers him a business deal. So he goes to a meeting with them. But in the meantime, we see our good friend Hardcore with this guy called Angel, who's a billionaire weapons dealer industrialist type. And he's dealing weapons to Hardcore. This is an interesting ad, actually, because one, it has this image of Mary Jane, which is actually kind of elusive, because it's I believe it's from the very rare swimsuit editions of Marvel Comics. But interestingly enough, it seems that they printed some of these I guess poster type images in other books. And also because Marvel used to do these things that I wish they still did, because I would have gotten a million of these orders. But it's like a warehouse sale where, between this and this, you could get however much off on a bunch of Marvel comics. And one of the books offered here is actually the swimsuit special. So I guess that's why they added that image. Anyway, so we're given a pep talk, or not a pep talk, we're given a rundown of Angel and what he's all about, to establish some sort of hype / establish that he's a big deal. Anyway, so we get a genuinely creepy moment from Luke Cage where he corners Anna into like a wall and starts hitting on her pretty hardcore, no pun intended. But yeah, I don't like that at all. He doesn't come off as charming or like a ladies' man. He comes off as a weird creep. So Luke gets in a chopper with the news photographer, and they go off to get themselves a story. And Hardcore. Okay, so this is like 100 feet at least above the ground, right? Hardcore's down here somewhere. Hardcore swings the chain, a massive amount of chain around his head, throws it up to the helicopter, and it catches in the propeller of the helicopter, but instead of just having the chain pulled up along with whatever was on the other end of it, it for some reason causes the helicopter to malfunction, because it's clearly not impeding its ability to turn. The motor that turns the propeller is in here. It's not here. This is just the apparatus to hold the propellers to the helicopter itself at a adequate distance. Anyway, so they jump out of the helicopter, and somehow his camera doesn't break when they land. The helicopter fucking explodes. I guess because these were exploding tips. Anyway, Luke Cage uses his body to cushion the blow of Mickey Hamilton. And Mickey tells him not to go, or that he doesn't have to go and fight, but Luke Cage does it anyway because he has that never say die attitude. So he gets there and starts wreaking havoc on Angel and his crew. And unfortunately, he's caught up again in the taser chain. And I do like the pencils around here. I mean, it was pretty standard for the time, but I always like that sort of line work around stuff, which we don't really get anymore. It's just kind of blur effects. Anyway, so we catch up with Hardcore, who has his favorite lipstick on, and he explains that you know, he's disciplined in some weird Chinese technique, and he was experimented on such that he's able to augment his body such that the claws or his nails turn into razor sharp claws that can cut through steel, implying that he can cut through Luke's skin. And all subtlety is thrown out the window when he just plain out states it and then lunges at Cage. Anyway, he's taunting him. I do like the inking here, actually. It's not something I noticed initially, but I do like the contrast. Anyway, he's taunting him, telling him that he's not a very powerful man or whatever. He's not a very good power man if he can't, you know, defend himself or whatever. And he says, "Don't call me that. I'm Cage." And he chucks him away. He yells, "Don't call me that! I'm Cage!" Like a fucking madman, because it's the 90s and everything needs to be extreme. You can't go by Power Man anymore because that's not extreme. Anyway, so he shoots a couple of these little daggery things, which I get, it's not really explained. Are they his nails? Are they his chain ends? What are they? Nobody knows. Anyway, they penetrate Luke Cage's skin, which I don't know if it's that easy to do. I'm pretty sure his skin is harder than steel, but whatever. So he obviously can't fight him close range. So he picks up he rips a chunk out of the ground and throws it at Hardcore, but Hardcore intercepts it with the chain, knocking it over to the side into a bunch of weapons that Angel provided Hardcore with. And we catch up with Mickey, who is intercepted. There's a word I'm using a lot in this issue, but I guess they use it a lot in this issue as well. He's intercepted Angel and he beats the crap out of him, taking his Jeep. Another one of those comic ads. So, a hardcore tries to escape, or begins his escape, because his operation has been bamboozled, and he's not intended to kill Cage, which he reveals in his escape. He reveals that you know, his tips, the tips of his chains are diamonds, so that they can cut through his skull and kill him at any moment. Which kind of implies that and he also says that his master or whatever doesn't want him to kill Cage yet, which kind of implies maybe his master is Diamondback. But we never get confirmation of that, at least yet. So Luke, having tripped over Bazooka, uses the rocket launcher to blow up the track, the runway, and catches up to the plate and proceeds to tear off the back. Hardcore comes out swinging, but since Cage is, you know, using the plane as a shield, he realizes that it's a losing battle and tries to flee. Regardless, you know, his plane is still completely demolished on the back half, so of course his plane blows up when he tries to take off. This is a beautiful panel, though. I really like this inking and line work here. Anyway, so he's presumed dead, and you know, the media team catches up with Cage, and Angel is apprehended by the police. And you know, they offer him a deal where they get all the exclusive photos and stories and interviews and stuff with Cage. In exchange, they'll pay his Heroes for Hire expenses and whatnot. And he agrees. And then we cut to the island that Hardcore City was from, and we see like this mysterious figure who I think might still be Diamondback, holding his skull because he's hardcore, but not that hardcore. He's just hardcore. Anyway, he's told that failure isn't accepted, and he's attacked by another one of the baddies, another one of the henchmen. But he gets the upper hand and actually proceeds to kill the henchman. You know, he was told that the plans for Luke were to humble him and make him suffer and then kill him or whatever. But instead, he's given him newfound confidence and allies. So the book ends with that. Anyway, it's a pretty I'd give the artwork like a 5.5 maybe out of 10. Because it's very average throughout, but I'd bump it up 5 points because of the interesting panels, like this splash page. Anyway, the story I'd give a 5.5 or 6 to, and yeah, the characters weren't really interesting. Luke Cage is kind of unlikable in this issue, which is the opposite of his character. He's supposed to be extremely likable and kind-hearted and whatnot. But yeah, I'd give this book a D+, a D to a D+. Yeah, that's it. Fucking subscribe, leave me comments and whatnot, for sure. Oh, also, I guess I'll leave that as a front bumper. But yeah, this has been Ethan Ainsworth in 25-cent adventures, which is what this book cost me. And I'll see you guys later with another 25-cent comic book review.